This is all sort of connected. So one of the things that he did by demonstrating that he was going to allow a lot of these accounts back onto Twitter, and he was going to be way more permissive in the types of things that you can say, specifically he's going to allow this type of hate speech and extremism to exist and proliferate. It has a few effects. One, new people join. So, we monitor these groups on Telegram, for example, which had been sort of a safe haven for a bunch of the extremists that had previously been kicked off of some of the more mainstream accounts. And in recent weeks, they've all been, these prominent Telegram chats have been telling their members to go back to Twitter and sign up, rejoin, because it's a good opportunity to recruit and sort of evangelize. So one, the types of people that are coming back are not just the true believers, but the hard extremists. So one guy really ran the Daily Stormer, which is literally a neo-Nazi publication and sort of forum, was kicked off years ago and came back the same day that Musk had suspended Ye's account. So there's this incredible moment where he has these little things that he tries to commercialize, but the effect of it is that all of these extremists are coming back on. And why that matters is that it ultimately then allows for the recommendation engine on Twitter to help connect otherwise extreme individuals that were not previously connected, or people that haven't been radicalized yet, but can now get sort of connected to these new people that are coming back. So you have the immediate harm of more hate, more extremism, but you sort of have this long tail where Twitter now becomes an engine of radicalization that helps allow for these groups to bring in new people, spread new identity, new ideas, and that's how you then convert that kinetic energy into offline action, more harms, more violence, more actually on-the-ground extremism.
Right, and Brandy, of course, the sort of unanswerable question is how you move back from this, right? I think part of the answer potentially lies in Twitter's advertising. It's declined by 90%. I wonder if that is part of the calculus or if it's just more complicated.
Yeah, how to fix this, how to close Elon Musk's box. That is a question for someone far beyond my pay grade. I mean, my job really is to look at the harms, and how to fix it.
I take your point because I understand it as a really hard question, and I think that's sort of this is part of why this is so anxiety producing, right, Brandy? Because it's very clear the harm that it is doing, and I think, and Angela, you feel free to jump in, but even if you fix it at sort of a platform level, there's already sort of a hate that has seeped out that you can't reel back in.
He's not going to fix it. He doesn't want to fix it. Oh, I'm so sorry to...
No, Brandy, go ahead, and then I'll ping over to Angela.
Go. We should just notice that Elon Musk is having a great time. He's having a wonderful time. He is loving this. He's sort of this chaos agent where it doesn't really matter if this succeeds for him, because just the attention that it's getting, he views that as a success, And I just want to, you mentioned this, that like words matter, right? And that, it leads to offline violence. It really, really does. And I just want to underline that point, that the stuff that we're seeing online right now and these communities that are building have real world consequences. There have been fascist and racist posts that we have connected specifically to shootings. And I've been on the show and we've talked about it in the wake of these shootings at the El Paso Walmart, at synagogues, at mosques, Black people at a grocery store. And I just how many online manifestos do we have to read to understand that this is how it works? And the fact that we know all of this right now and it's still going on, and half the people just seem to be all right with that, it blows my mind, truly.
So, Angela, I'm going to let you jump in and have the final word.
Yeah, the thing I would say is some things, I think there's two directions to the big question of what do we do about it. One is some things you can't fix, but you can mitigate the harms. So that's the first thing we have to recognize, that there is some mitigations that can happen. As you know, there's an advertiser sort of push, which I don't think fixes or prevents it entirely, but what it does do is control the speed dial for how fast things and how bad things could get, how fast they could get. So that's one thing, is sort of using that as a way to slow down some of it. And then the second thing is, what are the types of takeaways here that can be prevented? Because this stuff is going to spill over to other platforms. And what I'm really worried about, like just today, Elon Musk is bragging advertisers are coming back when in fact they're not. And what I worry is that at some point this becomes so normalized that the industry starts to adapt and roll back a lot of their types of policies and preventions and protections around this type of extremism and hate, which then raises the temperature elsewhere. So I think we have to make sure that the other platforms don't get worse as a consequence of the type of work and sort of unwinding that he's doing at Twitter.